to see you again.
Good morning.
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 Robert, who said morning first? Was that Justin or Elijah?
No,
Oh,
it wasn't.
that was me, Hamza.
Okay, cool. Hi, Hamza. Hi, Robert. Hi, Elijah.
How are you doing?
Good. Did you guys have a good week? What good things happened?
Yeah, actually, it's been a little rough, actually.
Ooh. Well, hopefully your day's out to get better.
Oh, absolutely, it has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about
This
to
is-
close a new builder. So
Oh,
he
nice.
builds about 15 to 20 houses a year, all at $1.5 million plus. So
Nice. That's nice.
pretty-
Are you gonna do all security, I guess? Security for him?
it's more AV. It's more AV. I mean, your
Oh.
average check should be, I don't know, 30K plus for each house. We
Nice.
laid out the first one yesterday. It was around 30.
When is your follow-up with this guy? When are you gonna know for sure?
Well, I've already talked to him once this morning, and I'm just
Oh,
waiting on the
sweet.
homeowner to green light it. And then if we green light it, we pretty much would have the builder at that point.
Oh, that's awesome. Good job, Robert.
Thanks.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Kevin. How's it going? Keegan's here. Hey, Keegan. How's it going? He's muted.
Looks like it's a slow start.
I was gonna say we're running low today.
Life is good. God is good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's
Your
early.
review, Bobby, was awesome. We read that yesterday.
Good, that's good. Yeah.
You guys know you do the whole review thing. You read your reviews and you'll spend some time in there. You're really patting yourself on the back. We do that too.
That's good.
I don't know how to sign up underneath this.
Here we have some people coming on. All right, guys, we had Robert share a win already, but does anybody else have wins of the week before we get this show on the road? Let's share some wins. Robert's closing a big home builder for audio and visual, so that was a win.
might give
Elijah's
you-
week is only getting better.
My win is this. It's just a personal win, but just my anniversary was last Monday.
Oh,
And
cool.
we had not planned on going out of town, and we were just gonna we were like at Big Al's bowling place with my daughter, and my friend called me and goes, dude, you can't be there with your wife on your anniversary. And he brought me keys to a cabin in the mountains and sent us to the mountains for like a week and stuff for free. It was kind of a blessing.
Oh,
It
nice.
was snowing. It was
Nice.
fun. Yeah.
I need
How
friends
do
like y'all.
did you get to like turn your phone on airplane mode for a little bit and like just go be with the mountains or?
Somewhat, yeah. I had a few days where I could just kind of disconnect and stuff, and there was snow, so I had a snowball fight with my wife. It was cool.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, we all got fooled this week here in Oklahoma, here in Tulsa. You know, the weatherman like is so up and down. If you've been in Oklahoma, like they say, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it's gonna change. So everybody got all hyped up. Oh, it's gonna snow. It's gonna be a 12-inch blizzard. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that. You know how people do. Everybody goes to Walmart. We're packing water bottles, and nothing happened. Not a thing. I don't even know that. Like we maybe got a little bit of sleet, and that was it. So it's Oklahoma for you. Gotta love it. All right, we'll give people a little bit more time to hop on here, but we're gonna get started here in just a minute, just because we do have a lot to cover. Does anybody else have a win that we want to share?
Got the opportunity to bid on a 400 unit smart home project.
Whoa.
Nice.
Now tell me you're not just changing the lock or adding, a one door here. I mean, are you working on all 400 units? Or what does that entail?
Thermostats, doors,
Oh,
Data,
come on. Stop it.
cabling.
Kevin, come on.
What's the potential revenue there, Kevin? What is that looking like for you guys?
Well, that's a personal question, Julia. Whoa.
Come on, aren't we real personal by now?
No, yeah,
400
that's good.
units. That sounds like a
20
big thing.
million.
Oh
It's about
Cool.
close to 7 figures, yeah.
Nice. That's
Awesome.
awesome.
He's
Good job, you
adding
guys.
the fancy thermostats with no questions here. I
Oh,
mean,
that's awesome.
I mean,
I
my
don't
goal
know.
has always been trying to get some residual income, so that's my main focus on that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Hopefully, Robert, hopefully you'll be able to turn some residual income from this AV job you're closing.
Yeah, we usually do. I mean, we do more fire alarm and basic security for that, though.
Yeah, that's
All
awesome,
right.
guys.
Before Julia gets going here, I'm going to make my my token announcement.
You beat
Please,
me to
please,
it, Bryce.
please.
I just
Yes.
unmuted myself to get on to them. So you do it.
Okay. Well, if you can please help me out to help you guys out, please change your name to be something about your business. That's really all that I need. As long as it's got your name or what kind of business type you are. That way I can put everybody in rooms of similar businesses here later. And also, if you can, we know people are out there working in the field. That's totally normal. If you can't have your camera on, you're just kind of listening, that's fine. But if you can, we would love to have your camera on. It just makes it much more, enjoyable and interactive. So those two things, I made my token announcement. Please
Thank you,
help me
Bryce.
help you guys.
To be fair, it's not even if you can, just put your video on. We want to see your face. All right.
All right,
Awesome.
guys. All right, so business wins of the week. I did want to share this. This is Val. He's out of Sacramento, California. He does excavation. Val, are you on this call right now? Val, make it. Okay, so this is a win that I picked out specifically for this talk. So he does excavation. He's very, very, very experienced, and they're very good at what they do. Their reviews show that they just do incredible work. And he got a lead for this lady who wanted her driveway cleared, and they were doing some excavation work on that. And so he gave her his normal quote. Everything was fine, and she was like blown away by how much that was going to cost. Kind of one of those situations where like the customer just had a lack of knowledge. So instead of like placating to the customers like, oh, that's so expensive, or oh, this and this, and Val trying to like, squeeze and move everything he could, he just told her, well, to get it done right, this is what it costs. This is what we charge. Here's what we'll do for you. We're happy to help in any way we can, sort of thing. But anyway, this is like a win just in the fact that like as he's telling me the story, I just got so happy because it's so rare for us to sometimes just kind of know our value and then know who is and isn't our customer. I feel like a lot of times we just try to make anybody happy who wants to do business with us and try to move around what we can and squeeze this and squeeze out. But to just like recognize when it's not a good fit and like this is our unique value that we bring to the table. And if that's just not really what you're wanting, like this wouldn't be a win-win situation. I just think that's a win just to be able to recognize that. And that does lead into the topic today that we're going over. Does anybody, before we get started, does anybody have wins specifically related to your unique value proposition, or maybe even like, I know it's kind of weird to call it a win that you're turning down a customer, but does anybody have a story to kind of match this before we get going here?
I do, actually.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I went and did a fence quote for a guy, and they stay in an HOA. And so they have very specific rules for how, all the fences need to be uniform, the material you can use, the styles, et cetera, et cetera. And so, when I gave him the quote, he was saying my quote was, I think he said like a 33% higher than all the other quotes he got.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him, I was like, well, sir, based off of the few fences that I inspected while I was, in your neighborhood, many of them weren't built to the standards that
To
your
code.
HOA, requires. Like they cut corners, they didn't use the right material,
Right.
the right design on. So this is the price to do it properly. However, I offer a 5-year full warranty, a lifetime limited warranty. I can, I guarantee that, I'll come in, I'll do the job right the first time. in the last time. And, and that's going to come at a higher cost, especially if I'm actually using all the proper material that your HOA is required for. And he was like, I understand, I get that. But of course, he still went with the other guys, which is fine.
Sure.
Yeah. So that just happened like last week, I believe.
I love that. I do love that. And the goal of this conversation is just, kind of like Elijah said, making sure, because it sounds like you explained it, and you explained it very well, but making sure we're communicating that to the customer. And so that's what we're getting into today. Okay, so knowing and communicating your unique value is what we're going over, and then how to do that and ways to do that effectively. And then we'll do breakout room time and make sure you guys can make this applicable. So knowing and communicating your unique value. Do you guys see what I did there on highlighting the unique? Just kidding.
I liked it.
Thank you, Rudy. Okay, so in a crowded marketplace, you guys probably hear us quote Seth Godin often from The Purple Cow. If you guys have ever read any kind of Seth Godin, he's great, but it's because the stuff's knowledge. That's why we just keep repeating it. But in a crowded marketplace, fitting in is a failure. In a busy marketplace, not standing out is the same as being invisible. That's a Seth Godin quote. How many of you guys have experienced the highs and lows of business, the ups and downs, the feast and famine? It's just me. Is this like most of us?
Absolutely.
Right. So it's like you have the highs and lows, you have the feast and famine. And so what this is to make sure that when we're busy, we're still not forgetting how to communicate the important things. And then also when we're slow, knowing that it's even more important to make sure that we're communicating not just our value to customers, but our unique value to customers. So of course, one, we do want to know our unique value, right? We have to know that to communicate it, because if you don't know, how will your customers know, right? If you don't even know that, they're certainly not going to know it. So we're going to get
Wow.
into that. I know it's deep, but it's true. And this really does take you guys to the next level. It takes your business to the next level wherever you're at. Sometimes this can be like a conversation that it's a new topic and you guys are like, man, I've been saying all the same things my competitors have. I need to step up my game. But sometimes you guys are like, yeah, I've already been doing this. Okay, then it's time to take it to an even further level. And so that's what this talk is about. Wherever you're at, it's time to take this concept to the next level, because we always want to be providing more value to our customers, right? More value for either the same price or less price. So marketing is only going to be as effective as this. And this is reasons why mastering this is worth your time now, not later. So if you're in an industry where you have a lot of competitors right now, you're in a big city, there's a lot of you guys in your industry, then this matters so much. Or if it's like a low entry level industry, like if it doesn't take 18 different licenses to do what you guys do, and a competitor could pop up out of left field, out of nowhere, then this matters. Or if you have some competitors beating you on pricing, like they cost less, or they are bringing more value for what they're charging, or whatever the case may be, then this is even more important for you to, of course, one, know, but then two, communicate. Also, if your leads have slowed down, back to the highs and lows, or the feast and famine of life and of business. If we're in one of those spots where leads are a little bit slower, it's a slow season, or it's a slower year than normal, or whatever the case may be, then this is even more important, because you have to make it rain with the leads that you have. Another thing, if your conversion rate is below 80%, this is super important. And to be above 80%, that's a really good conversion rate, so I'm sure most of us are either right at 80% or maybe even a little bit lower. So then this matters even more. Also, if you're concerned the economy could affect your business, how many of us have had that thought, whether we want to admit it or not? Like, we're not the business owners that are going, oh, the economy is why I wasn't so successful this year, or oh, it's just the economy, or oh, the economy. No, we don't want to sing that tune. That's not who we are. That's not what we do. But, you know, maybe you are in an industry where you're looking at the amount of leads or the amount of interest or the market, and you're going, hey, I'm a little bit worried this could slow me down this year. Well, this is how we're going to combat that. This is exactly how we're going to combat that. Another thing too, where this would really apply to you is if you don't think you are good at sales. I've had 50% of my clients who say they're not good at sales, 50% of my clients who say they are good at sales. You know, the people that say that they don't think they're good at sales, like, you probably are more than you realize. And that's why it's even more important. I think a lot of times we think that we have to know all the sales tricks and we have to read all the sales books and we have to like be the quote unquote car salesman. But at the end of the day, if we know our unique value that we bring to the table, and if we're doing an effective job communicating our expertise in solving the problem that the customer has, you don't have to be a slick salesman. You don't want to be a slick salesman. And so if you don't think you're good at sales, then this is step one. Make sure you know your unique value proposition and then make sure we're communicating that. Second thing here, if you do think you're good at sales, then this is even more important. You know, I think it's I think a lot of times, like, you know, if you're good at sales and you kind of get in that headspace, it almost becomes this, you know, sometimes you hear people say, oh, I could sell ice to an Eskimo or whatever the case may be. And so you kind of think, well, that's a snake oil salesman. And in some instances, that's a con artist and people can go to federal prison for that. Obviously, that's not what we are. But, you know, even if you think that you're good at sales, the customer doesn't care how good you are at communicating or how good you are at sales. What they care about is the value that you're bringing, and that's what they want to know. So whether you do or don't think you're good at sales, this is important. The thing I want to hit on too here is like the mindset of knowing this, because if we don't know it, then we can't communicate it. So determining your unique value proposition. A lot of you guys may already be thinking in your head what this is, but we want to take this today to the next level. So first, ask yourself, what is it that makes you special? You know, you guys own a business, so everybody in this group, we know that we weren't special just by being born. Like, none of us are of that mindset. You know, we've worked really hard for what we have. And so we have to tangibly define what makes us special that we bring to the table for our customers. Again, if you know this already, guys, let's still break it down and write it out, but let's just enhance that. Let's take this time today to enhance that even more. So the question I always start with, no matter where you're at in the process here, if I got 3 quotes at the exact same price, why would I go with you? If I got 3 quotes at the exact same price, why you? We're going to take about 2 minutes here in just a minute to lay all this stuff out. But another thing I want you guys to consider before we break here are, what are your customers saying? Typically, whenever I'm asking clients, like I'm trying to help a client figure this out, because you guys know this in the back of your head, you just kind of have to lay it out. The thing that I always say is, once I ask, you know, what are your customers saying? What are they saying about your competitors? What are their complaints about maybe some other people in your industry? What are they saying? So you can obviously read your reviews. You'll find several consistencies in your reviews there. But then also, what are they telling other people? So any word of mouth leads that you guys get, obviously your customers are bragging on you. That's a great thing. So what is it specifically that this new word of mouth lead is coming to you saying? Roger said, you guys did a great job on this security system because he's had no problems and the support was above anybody else. And so that's why I called you guys. You know, just these type of things. What are they actually telling other people? And then also, what are they bragging about on your behalf? Whether a word of mouth lead comes to you or not, people talk, you guys talk, I talk, we talk. What are they actually saying about you? And then also, if they're not saying anything, then again, maybe it's time to look at the level of service we're providing and how we can add more value there. So let's take 2 minutes on the clock here. I'm going to start my clock right now. Let's take 2 minutes on the clock here and ask yourselves these 3 questions. 1, what makes you special? What do you bring to the table? 2, if I got the exact same price, why would I go with you? And then 3, what are your customers saying? So we're going on the clock starting now.
Write it down or put it under the burning fires in your agenda. It'll help us out in the future to know.
You got this, Price. I believe in you.
Oh, I gotta hang on. There we go. I had to boot Julia off.
This just got a little romantic.
The name of the song is Never Let Me Go.
Well, that is the point of this topic right now, unique value proposition. So some romantic music to fall in love with your business again is necessary.
I did just slip off my shoes.
Wow.
As long as
Oh,
we're
that's funny.
keeping our pants on, we're good.
Oh my.
You guys need to concentrate.
Jonathan, you found a
I
line.
apologize.
Concentrating. What do you think? All right, guys, 2 minutes is time. This may be an in progress. This will be an in progress activity, which is fine. I know you guys aren't going to lay everything out in 2 minutes, which is fine. But the point is to get you thinking about those things and make sure that we at least are in the headspace to be able to do what's next, which is communicate it. The thing too that I do want to bring up here, let me share my screen back again, you guys. All right. All right, is okay. Do you actually know it and believe it? It's one thing to say, okay, well, you know, maybe my unique value proposition is, you know, what was Elijah saying? I'm doing everything up to code. I'm not cutting corners. Okay, if that is something, you know it, you believe it, but also we need to know that our solution to the problem is worth it. You guys have gone through, some would say, hell and back to get to where you are. You guys have spent the midnight oil, burning the midnight oil, or on the other end of the day, early in the morning, making sure that you're taking care of your customers. So you know your solution to the problem, you know what you bring to the table, but make sure in your soul, deep in your soul, that you actually realize you're worth it. So if we're here and we're good there, then let's communicate it. We'll give you some examples here, but communicate it. I loved my little GIF here that I found because it's Sophia from the Golden Girls. Anybody a Sophia fan? Does anybody even know what I'm talking about? Golden Girls?
Oh, absolutely.
I was gonna say, am I in the wrong crowd here? What's going on? Okay. So if you know that, now it makes sense to make sure we're communicating that. Communicate it everywhere to the masses. The website. We need to be communicating in that scripts. You guys remember the scripts group call that Jonathan led 2 weeks ago? 2, 3. So website, scripts, a one sheet, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Vehicles, whatever you're saying that you bring to the table, whatever you know, again, deep in your soul that you bring to the table to your customers, we just need to be communicating that as effectively as possible. That is marketing. So let's look at some don't and let's look at some do's in the unique value proposition. Okay, so as we go through the don'ts, if you're saying this to your customers, this is not to beat you up or say, you're wrong. What it is again, this is to enhance things that maybe we're already doing, or again, if you guys need help finding your unique value proposition, we're going to do a lot of this in the breakout rooms, but also you can work on it with your coach. So some don'ts, just as a general rule of thumb, is everything else that your competition is saying. If they're saying this, we want to say it better and much better. Or again, we're going to be unique in every way that we possibly can. So don'ts would be we're locally owned and operated. Right? A lot of people are saying this. And although you go, but wait, Julia, people do want to purchase from local companies. I get that. I very much support like Broken Arrow and Tulsa businesses. I get that. But that's not unique, because any other competitor can come around and make that same exact claim. Anybody can hop up just tomorrow and start a business in your industry and make that same exact claim. What a do comparison would be on that is serving the Tulsa location for over 25 years, or serving Midwest Illinois for 25 years, or whatever the case may be. You're still making the claim that you're locally owned and operated technically, but this is something unique. You've been doing this for X amount of years. You know, that would be an example, guys. Another don't is, well, we're family owned and operated. We're a family owned business. That is great. I'm all about family. I have a family, love my family. We all love our families. If we don't, that's a big issue, but that's beside the point. But everybody can make that claim, because even a franchise owner, or even corporate America, or even a publicly traded company, they all have families too. But another example of what you could do here is, hey, we have family too. So we're going to protect your family as we're on your job site. So that's why we're licensed and insured. This gives you peace of mind on your project. You're still making the family claim. This is just a little bit different. We're professional. We're professional. What does that even mean? A lot of times we get reviews that say we're professional, and that is great. We should be professional. We want to be professional. That's why you're in business, because you are professional. You probably wouldn't last if you weren't. But a better idea of that statement would be 65 years of combined professional plumbing experience, 65 years of combined professional construction experience. Our leading crew has combined 35 years of remodeling experience, or whatever that would be for you guys. We're still saying we're professional. We're still saying we're not just like Joe Blow down the street. But again, you're backing what you're uniquely bringing to the table with fact. We're simply the best in town. What does that mean? Everybody can make that claim. We're the best in town. That means nothing. But what would be a great example of that is we're the highest rated and most reviewed plumbing team in Tulsa. We're the highest rated and most reviewed remodeling contractor in, I don't know, Adair County, whatever the case may be. Another common one I hear is we have great customer service. We have great customer service. That genuinely might be unique for you guys because you really might have competitors that just suck. And if that's the case, well, we don't want to be the best out of those who suck. We actually want to be the best, and we want to communicate that we're the best. So even if great customer service is going to be like what you hold here, the pillar that you stand on, you need to back that. So that would be over 100 plus 5-star happy customers, or we have over 100 5-star reviews, or our customer service is going to take you through 5 phases of communication at each piece of the project from start to finish. You know, whatever that may be that you're bringing to the table, just make sure you have that backed by fact and you're communicating outside of, oh, we're just great with customer service. Also, a don't would be we have top-notch quality. Now, obviously, you guys all have to have top-notch quality. This doesn't work if we're not delivering a quality product or service. But another way of saying that would be, oh, we have extended warranties, which include manufacturing warranties, and we're going to take care of any issues you have. Plus, we have a 3-year labor warranty. A lot of our competitors are only doing about 6 months or a year. You know, whatever that may be for you guys, you want to back what you're saying about your quality work, put your money where your mouth is. So once we know it, we want to live it. So back to communicating this to our customers. One of the ways that we find is the most effective way to communicate this with your customers, outside of course, the website or truck wraps, fan wraps, scripting, outside of everything else that we do, the spot where it actually matters is when you are in front of the customer doing your appointment with the customer. When you're here and you have their undivided attention and they are ready to buy. So this would be immediately after the walkthrough. If you're a remodeling company, this would be, you know, right when you're getting into the service call, if you're a service-based company, but right there when you're about to get into the meat of the cost and what you guys do, this is where you go over this one sheet. Here's an example of a one sheet. It's a front and back, literally just like an 8.5 by 11 page document. It's a one sheet that is effectively communicating what you guys bring to the table. So in this example, this is like their pitch. You know, everything they're already saying to the customer, this is the documented scripting here that are telling this customer right in front of them what they bring to the table and what makes them different. Here's why the one sheet is so important. One, this is your scripted sales pitch. You guys own the company, so you already know, or you should know, or we're getting in the process of knowing and enhancing what we bring to the table. You guys have built this business, so you're probably pretty good at your sales pitch at this point, right? It's our thing. We're pretty good at it. But your technicians aren't always as effective. Or you might say certain things that are gold in one pitch, and then you forget it in the next time. So what this is your scripted sales pitch. So your one sheet, you know, genuinely should be evolving with your company. If you haven't touched your one sheet in 3 years, I'm sure you've improved. I'm sure you've added more value in 3 years. Maybe it's time to look at it and enhance that. So scripted sales pitch, also simplicity. The power of the one sheet is its simplicity. We can have 18 different marketing deliverables. We can have a catalog. We can have our business card. We can have 5 brochures here that we're pulling out of our pocket. We can have all of these things and add complexity to our business. And honestly, are we really using it effectively? Is the customer going to take our big old folder that we give them and probably just throw it away or file it? Yes. The power of the one sheet is its simplicity in one 8.5 by 11 document. Also, it's a visual aid. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm like listening to a sales pitch and they're just like talking at me, I can't like, I can't absorb what they're saying. to the full extent that I probably need to, or that they're trying to get me to do. So your visual aid is your one sheet, literally walking them through. Okay, so a couple things that make us different. You can even point to it with them. This helps them follow along a lot more efficiently than what
Julia,
they're going to be doing.
what happens if I just hand them the one sheet? Like my guys are kind of shy. My technicians don't like to sell. You know, they have the next job to go to. I'm just going to have them hand them the one sheet.
I love that you asked that because I almost didn't hit that. I love that you just asked that. This is the thing too with the one sheet. It is a scripted sales pitch. If you're just handing it to them, the customer's never going to read that. I'm going to say that again. If you hand it to them, the customer will never read it. Why? Because people don't read. Why? Because people don't care as much as you care about your business. Why? Because it takes extra work and extra effort. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but if you just hand it to them, they're not going to read it. If you hand it to them, also, this is going to become a flyer, which is another point I'm about to hit too, is your one sheet can be as powerful as you let it. You can treat it like a flyer, or you can treat it like a powerful sales tool that it really is. Also, your one sheet is going to be enhancing the branding and enhancing the value. How many of you guys keep your iPhone boxes or your Mac boxes? So confession time here, I don't anymore because I did realize how ridiculous it was that one of my closet's top shelf was full of iPhone boxes, iPad boxes, and Mac boxes. Okay, there we go. There we go. Even if you guys aren't guilty of this illogical move, most humans are. Why do we keep it? I really don't know. It's just too nice. We just kind of feel like cringy to throw it away. So this is enhanced branding, which also enhances the value in the mind of the customer. This is setting.
I actually save mine. I do use them. I pull all the stuff out, but you're right. They're a nice box, and they're just nice little boxes to put all kinds of cool things in. So, but
Yeah,
you're right. So,
hey, David, did you know that people sell their iPhone boxes on eBay
I
and
have a
Mac
few.
boxes?
I'll list those on eBay tonight.
You
probably.
should. I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing. And so for whatever reason, whether I think it's a psychological thing, but is Apple not more valuable in our mind? Okay, the iPhone's great. If you have an Android, not sure what you're doing, but the iPhone is great. But do we just genuinely not think of Apple as a premier brand? Steve Jobs was very intentional about these boxes, by the way. And so that's really what your one sheet is as well. And also, guys, because we don't want to throw this away, your company becomes a billboard in the customer's home. So it's like, take me, for example. If you guys were coming to my house to pitch me a remodel and you're handing me this high gloss, nice one sheet, it's branded well, you've went through the time to communicate this with me, guess what's going to happen? You're going to sit on my kitchen table or on my countertop over here for about 3 or 4 weeks until we get the project going. And then I finally realize this is ridiculous that I have this, but you really become a billboard in the home because they're getting 4 or 5 different quotes elsewhere. And you are going to keep that top of mind awareness because, again, they don't really want to throw it away because it's like the iPhone box. And then last but not least, it's the unforgettable sales pitch. It is so easy from a consumer standpoint for us to look at something or to listen to a sales pitch and it goes in one ear and out the other. We heard you at the time, but we got 3 other quotes elsewhere and we forgot what you said. And so what this is it's the unforgettable sales pitch. Once you're out the door, again, you're sitting on their kitchen table, you're sitting on their countertop here, and they're going back occasionally to look at the value that you bring. And last but not least here, before we break out into our breakout rooms, will you let this communicate your unique value proposition? Will you use the one sheet? Will you use the tools at your disposal to do the job that needs to be done? Or is this just going to be another flyer, guys? Is this just going to be another thing in all the noise that professionally owned and operated, or locally owned and operated, family owned and operated, professional, Are Are we in all the noise? Or are we using the one sheet and our unique value proposition to really set us apart? All right, guys, let's get in our breakout rooms. And coaches, you guys know where you're going. And let's go.